sauti, not sauti. I'm hearing a little bit like a sa, or something like that. It's an u, sauti. Sauti. Sauti.
Pazeni Sauti means lift your voice.
Probably the largest challenge is not looking at a piece of paper. I'm so used to, as a cellist, learning stuff by memory, by looking at the paper and visualizing it as I play. And this is all, they sing it to you, you sing it back. It's done wonders for my ear training, but at the same time it was kind of hard.
Yeah. The biggest challenge I would have to say is, well, as a musician, I've always learned music, with sheet music, and we do everything in here by rote. So Duncan will play something on the piano, or he'll sing it to us, and then we have to sing it back at him. And trying to adapt to the different dialects and learning the music without having music to reference. It was a challenge at first.
Altos and basses. Hold that last second one, right? Even though the tenors and sopranos are singing their part, just hold it so that you can lead it into the third part. Here we go. Rea mole, verse 1. So we'll sing Rea mole twice. Rea mole, then Ga yoyotswana twice. Then Hakuna Mungu twice. And then, no, Twasema Asante twice. And then Hakuna Mungu twice.
Two challenging things I would say is the words and the languages they're different, and that is its own unique challenge. We sing in many different languages from the continent of Africa. The other thing I would say is a challenge, and really it's been more of a process for gaining humility, and that was learning to sing in a group of many different backgrounds, many different ethnicities and cultural backgrounds. But at the same time, it's been a challenge. It's also been an extremely enlightening reward as well. So it's been very valuable to me as well.
There's a huge sense of unity in Africa Choir when everybody relies on everybody else to know the part and whatnot. And whenever I was in choir, I even student conducted a choir for a while. Everybody has the idea that, oh, if I know my part, everybody else should know theirs. And as long as I have my part, it's okay. But it's not really how it works. It's how everybody does. And how everybody plays off of each other when they sing.
Hey. It can't. Amazing. I mean, it's a practice thing, and then every time you introduce a new song, we do stuff from all over the sub-Saharan continent. So there's all these different languages that we do things in. So you can't really get used to anything per se. It's just kind of got to take it as it comes at you.
How do you select the songs for the class?
One thing is I try to look at different songs from different regions, and then try to look at songs that are perhaps not too complicated yet challenging enough, and especially because the teaching of the song is done by rote, so that's very different here, different experience, and then of course it's different languages, so those are two things that are challenging to the choir members, and so I try as much as possible to choose songs that choir members will be able to learn quickly to be able to internalize quickly enough, and yet challenging enough to show the different colors and different varieties that are formed from the continent. So that's basically how I go about it. Well, yes. Just not necessarily altering techniques, perhaps just elaborating something a little bit more. So we still go through, learning of the words, because not everyone speaks all the different languages, and so there's that element of still teaching the words, but here we go a little bit longer. I mean, we take it a little bit further because it's a different sound as well. But apart from that, most of the other general, musical techniques, teaching techniques remain pretty much almost the same. We don't really pay a lot of the attention that Western classical style pays attention to voice production and that kind of thing. A lot of the voice production is handled by how you pronounce the words, and so once you get that, then and vocal production will form close to that, and so it comes very close to an African sound. There are two sort of like genres of dancing that go along with songs. There's a style of dancing that is for folk songs, and so if we're singing a folk song, then I will use the dance that accompanied that particular folk song. And so some of the songs that we sing in a folk song style would then have a real sort of like authentic folk song that is dance that comes from that particular ethnic group. Now, if it's in a choral setting, because of the requirements, I guess, vocal production requirements for a choir, then we'll reduce the dances to reflect an African style, but I wouldn't say directly from that particular group, particular ethnic group. Sometimes they are, and because we have to sort of like minimize the movements a little bit. So we try to, as much as possible, use African movements, and if we can, then use directly from the ethnic group. I have, and the one thing that I've learned is people are the same. The way we sing in Africa could be seen as different, but it doesn't have to be. As long as people learn the culture, people learn about the song, people learn how to sing the song, then ideally there would be no marked difference per se. But generally people are the same. Generally people are similar, and so adapting cultures is very easy, and I've learned that. But that said, people are still different, and so there's of course the challenge that comes with teaching Americans who have not sung in an African style or in an African language before, and so those are some of the challenges. And with those challenges, we learn how to overcome the challenges. So those are lessons learned as well.
I haven't had more fun any other time in my life than singing with Pazeni Sauti.